In the land of Uz lived a man named Job. He was not only wealthy and influential, but also blameless and upright, a man who feared God and turned away from evil. His life was the picture of abundance. He had 7 sons and 3 daughters, thousands of livestock, hundreds of servants, and a reputation that stretched far beyond his region. If there was ever a man who seemed to have everything in place, both earthly and spiritual, it was Job. But behind the scenes, a heavenly conversation unfolded that would change Job's world forever. One day the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and among them was Satan. God pointed out Job, saying, "Have you considered my servant Job? There is none like him on earth." Satan replied with a knowing smirk, "Of course he fears you. Haven't you surrounded him with protection? Take everything away and he'll curse you to your face." The challenge was accepted. With divine permission but limits set, Satan struck. In a single day, Job's life unraveled. One messenger after another arrived, breathless and shaken. His oxen and donkeys stolen, his sheep consumed by fire from heaven, his camels raided, his servants slain. And then came the worst. A mighty wind had crushed the house where his children were feasting. All 10 were dead. Job tore his robe, shaved his head, and fell to the ground, not to curse but to worship. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Through his grief, Job did not sin or charge God with wrongdoing. But Satan wasn't finished. Again he appeared before the Lord and pressed further. Skin for skin. A man will give anything to save his own life. Strike his body, and he'll curse you. God agreed, permitting Satan to afflict Job but spare his life. Job's health collapsed. Painful boils broke out from head to toe. He scraped his sores with broken pottery and sat in ashes. His wife, watching his misery, cried out, "Are you still holding on to your integrity? Curse God and die?" But Job answered, "Shall we accept good from God and not trouble?" Still he did not sin with his lips. 3 friends, Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar, came to comfort him. When they saw him from afar, they barely recognized him. For 7 days they sat in silence, sharing his grief. But when they finally spoke, comfort was not what followed. One by one, the friends took turns offering their opinions. Their words were polished, but their hearts were blind. They insisted Job must have sinned to deserve such suffering. "The innocent do not perish," they reasoned. "If you would just confess, God would restore you." Job pushed back. He cried out in frustration and sorrow. He longed for an audience with God to plead his case. "I have done no wrong," he insisted. "Why has this happened to me?" The debate stretched on for chapters, with rising tension and deepening confusion. Then came Elihu, a younger man who had stayed silent until now. He rebuked both Job and his friends, Job for justifying himself over God, and the friends for condemning without knowledge. He reminded them that God is greater than man and speaks in many ways, dreams, suffering, whispers. Elihu's words were bold and stirred the moment for what came next. Out of a whirlwind, God answered. He didn't explain Job's suffering. Instead, he asked questions, dozens of them. "Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? Can you command the morning? Have you seen the storehouses of snow? Can you tame the Leviathan or command the stars?" God's voice thundered with majesty, power, and unanswerable wonder. Job was silenced. His heart melted in awe. "Surely I spoke of things I did not understand, things too wonderful for me to know. My ears had heard of you, but now my eyes have seen you. I repent in dust and ashes." Then, in a twist no one saw coming, God turned his anger on Job's friends. "You have not spoken of me what is right, as my servant Job has." He instructed them to offer sacrifices and have Job pray for them. Job, the wounded, became the intercessor. And then came restoration. God blessed the latter part of Job's life more than the first. His wealth doubled. He had 10 more children, 7 sons and 3 beautiful daughters. His family and friends returned, offering comfort and gifts. Job lived another 140 years, seeing his descendants to the 4th generation. And so the man who had lost everything ended his days full of wisdom, honor, and peace. His story stood as a testament through the ages. Not every suffering is a punishment, not every silence is abandonment, and in the whirlwind, God is still speaking. If you are loving this video, please hit both that subscribe and like button to help this message to spread far and wide. Check out the rest of the Bible Stories playlist to enjoy heartwarming events of the Bible brought alive. Thank you for supporting the Wake Up channel. God bless you.